So, this part of my car has to do with the officer who took advantage of my autism during questioning. First off, I had asked for a lawyer initially, and they had threatened me with being left in a very small room over the weekend. Um, and mind you, I'm shaken, so I can't think very well. I feel like I'm going to pass out the whole time. I don't know why I'm in cuffs. Um, when I dialed 911, I thought they were going to protect me, and I found out that is not the case when the perpetrator is friends with police. So, um, June 4th of 21, uh, when the police had spoken with me, uh, first off, when nosy people would call on my dogs in my car, and it was obvious they were well taken care of and never overheated, which I have witnesses to prove, they have been verbally told in the past that I was slow with indirectness and that I was autistic. So they knew this, the whole police force knew this on June 4th, 21. So back in June, actually, they proved my point on a phone call I had made a few months beforehand. They were stalking me and making me afraid to go to work. I lost $10,000 in income, coming up with bogus excuses. Um, and I would have a panic attack thinking about going to work because they would pull me over 2 or 3 times before I even got there. I would stay at Planet Fitness in Hendersonville or Hendersonville Walmart, and I had to go to the Amazon warehouse in Asheville. It's the closest place I knew of to spend the night to work without getting in trouble. So, it was quite a drive, but also I would be followed. And it would be the same thing, the tail light or the bicycle rack, the same bicycle rack that every tourist in town has. And, well, the tail light was dimmer than the other one at the time, and they were just looking for something. I had the same thing when I lived up here from 2014 to 2019 off of Blythe Street and Plantation Walk, and doing pizza delivery uh, during Sheriff McDonald. Actually, I had noticed that the police never pulled me over, ever. So I noticed how I was being treated when I lived in a house versus living in my car by Henderson County and Hendersonville police. Um, Laurel Park and Fletcher never really bothered me much. It was always just Hendersonville. And I had called them in April or May of 21, and I told them I could be getting raped and robbed at the same time, and you will find a way to make it my fault because I'm homeless. So on June 4th of 21, they had actually proved me right. I'm 100% sure my lawyer never brought that up. Now, I wanted to stress the fact that they knew I was autistic before everything happened on June 4th. Um, I don't know the officer's name, but the one on my court papers was larowe, which I think is Eric Larowe. Um, and he is a detective, and he does a shitty job at it. So Eric Larowe on June 4th of 21 told me that two things didn't match in the story, and here I am about to pass out, a million things going through my mind that don't make sense. Homeless camps, why am I in cuffs? They never read me my rights. What's happening? They're supposed to protect me. Things like that. And there were other things, but this video will get too long if I put those down. He had said that John said I handed him the gun, which I knew was a lie, but I felt like I was going to pass out. I was on the verge of a panic attack. Um, I was afraid of the police because I had heard them say something about covering things up over the radio before I even came into the police station. And so I just kind of figured it didn't matter what I said, that whatever reason they were deciding I was guilty anyway. Also, I had heard over the radio they were talking about who was shot, and one of the officers came over the radio and said, oh my god, that's my buddy, that's my buddy. Well, whoever that was, if you ever see this, I don't care if that was your buddy. He just tried to kill me, and action should have consequences, okay, including yours and his. So, you know, he said the other thing was that where the gun was located. Now, they were told, this is the truth, that the gun lived in between the seats, and I don't know when John grabbed it. And so, uh, also, that I did not hand John the gun. And when Eric Larowe had come in and told me that I would go home to my dogs in my car if I changed my story, it was a bribe. Um, and I, felt like I was going to pass out. I was barely able to think. And call me stupid, and I do feel stupid. And I feel like, even dumber for having autism because of this. But I did believe him, and I did change my story because he had said that. And that is what had led to me going to jail. And I mean, I was so far gone. I was shaking like a leaf, and I felt I could see like black around the corners of my eyes, feeling like I was halfway unconscious because I was so scared and shaken from what had just happened. So I'm putting that name out there too. Eric Larowe enjoys talking autistic people into false confessions.